Now, you also identify accountability. Now, this is a tricky one, especially in any family business, because, you know, if I'm starting to have to give reviews to my son or my daughter-in-law, or heaven forbid, my own spouse, that's a good way to sleep in the garage. Tell me about why accountability is so key.
Well, first of all, it's the foundation of everything in life. Okay. My definition of accountability, we talk about accountability today as if we understand what we're talking about. Kids should be more accountable, government should be more accountable, politicians should be more accountable, teachers should be more accountable. We talk about it as if we understand what we're talking about, and we don't. So my definition of accountability is the ability to be counted on. And the ability to do what you say you're going to do. We all have expectations from each other. And so it doesn't have to be a formal performance review process. Let's make it meaningful. But if we're going to work together, we better have a process to say, what do you want from me? What do I want from you? What do you want from me? What do I want from you? And how do we support each other? What will you promise to do? And how can I support you to do it? And what will our consequences be? Let's look first of all at the positive consequences. We all have to have some kind of a process for managing accountability. And most of the time we hire people, we work with people, we live with people, and we work together, and we don't talk to each other about it until we have a train wreck. Until we don't have accountability, and then we blame each other. And we get mad at each other. Well, I say, let's start upstream, and let's negotiate this early on. Let's get those, it's a little awkward for people because we're not used to doing it. It's not a muscle that's well developed, right? But let's deal with that upstream. And then we'll have a process so that when we run into challenges, we've already talked about how we're going to handle that.
The next key is strong character. Real character requires you to do 3 things consistently. What are they?
Say what you're going to do, follow through, and keep your promise, and stand for strong principles, so that you have strong principles that you stand on that are unwavering. This is what I stand for. And that I have integrity because I do what I say that I'm going to do.
You talk about the importance of building your business family on a solid foundation of character, and specifically you say replacing entitlement with responsibility. That has to be easier said than done.
What I tell farmers is your kids have no right to the land. They have no right to the business unless you deem it so. And until they work in the business long enough to earn it. So what I tell them is, make sure when you bring your kids home from the hospital, you tell them that. You don't have any right to this place, right? Don't wait till they've worked there for 20 years before you tell them that. But in an affluent society, it's tough to build a sense of an accountable mindset, a sense of ownership, because the more we get, the more we want. And we have this, everywhere I go, we have this entitlement mindset. My dad used to say, we have rights, but we don't have accompanying responsibilities. And every right has to be accompanied by a responsibility. And if those get out of balance in a family, in a society, rights without obligations are just as bad as obligations without rights. They have to always be kept in balance. I think of my mother, who was raised with 12 kids in a 900-foot house, a little shack in southern Alberta. And there wasn't 1 ounce of entitlement in her bones because she felt grateful for everything she got. But you keep giving and giving and giving, and it just breeds entitlement because we've been given to so much. So I think we all have to catch this a little bit. We're all we all have this sense of entitlement in this great society that we live in. I think we have a culture of what I call a culture of complaint. We just complain, and the better off we have it, the more we complain.
I think we could talk about this subject all day, but I appreciate your insights with us today.
It's a privilege to make a contribution. Thank you.
Sure. David, by the way, is a best-selling author of The Authentic Leader, Bridges of Trust and Becoming Real. You can find his resources easily online at davidirvine.com.